Are you guys ready? Alright, let's dive into something almost everyone's dreaming about: owning a home. That moment when you finally get the keys to your own place, freedom, independence, the perfect Instagram photo of your soul sign, right? But for some folks, that dream is turning into a full on nightmare. Here's the deal: 93% of recent homebuyers are feeling some level of regret. 93%. That's almost everybody. It's like there's a buyer's remorse club, and all you need to join is a mortgage and a plumbing problem. Now, Millennials, I got to call you out because you're leading the charge here. 9 of 10 Millennials homebuyers are saying, this wasn't what I signed up for, and honestly, I get it. Y'all saw a cute Zillow listing, a good angle on a photo, and thought, this is my dream home. And you move in, and boom, it's not a dream, it's a DIY horror movie. You're suddenly in the middle of the Tools and the Furious. And get this, a lot of folks bought homes without even seeing them first. That's like marrying someone after only texting. Sure, they look good, great in the photos, but now you're dealing with them, and they're full of surprises, like leaky roofs and foundation cracks. One person said their house had character, but let's be honest, if character means mold in the basement and raccoons in the attic, maybe it's too much character.
$1,000 home if you make $100,000 in salary because you want to be able to afford your payment, but you don't want to be house poor. So let's break these numbers down real quick. $400,000 home, let's say you put down 3% plus closing costs, it's going to be $25,000 cash up front out of pocket. Let's say you get a 7% interest rate. It's going to put your principal and interest payment around $2,600 a month, and then another $700 a month in taxes and insurances. So let's say $3,300 out the door for this home. Now, how they're going to qualify you, let's say you make $100,000 as a W-2 employee as a salary, and that's gross income. They're typically going to use about 40% of your income to qualify you with debt to income, which gives you a $40,000 allowance divided by 12 months, gives you $3,333. So you barely qualify, but you do it if you have no debt. Now, if you have a $500 car payment and $500 student loans, that $1,000 comes off and you can actually only afford $2,333 in the eyes of the lender, so you wouldn't qualify. But for this example, let's say you don't have any debt. But let's look at your real money here, your take home. A $100,000 salary is probably $70K after taxes and everything. So that's about $5,800 a month in net pay. So this $3,300 payment without utilities or anything, yes, you can qualify on paper, but that's 57% of your take-home pay. So these are the kind of numbers that you want to break down when you're thinking about buying a house, because you want to comfortably afford the...
So this is it. You want to just come this way?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is our elite unit here. As you can see, we've got a lot of natural light coming in through here. Here, why don't we just take a step inside here?
Oh, okay.
And as you can see, these windows, these are all original oak wood. Yes. And
I regret buying this house. That's what I've been thinking every single day for like the past 2 months. It has been hell, and I lost control, and I was just able to gain back control. There's nothing that sucks more than working so hard to achieve a goal like this, and to not even feel at home in my own house is absolutely heartbreaking. Like, I worked so hard for this house, and I've been homeless before, and I should be grateful, and I am, but with everything going on, it's kind of hard to, but I'm ready, and I have a mindset to completely take ownership of this house and move forward from here on out. I wanted to do everything at once, which was a big mistake. Every single house owner that I've spoken to just told me the same thing. It's a process, it's baby steps, and you're not going to get everything done in one day. Give yourself grace, just focus on the things you...
This is hidden. Yeah, that's why I tell people, you buy a house. I mean, they just bought this house too. I mean, would you think about it? I'd be hurt. If you spend all this money to buy a house and it cleared, and you come in and you find this, I mean, look at this. I mean, there's, and how far do you think that goes down? I mean, right here.
Transparency post. I regret buying a house. I regret it a lot. If I could go back to January 2022, I would tell that girl, do not. Just find another apartment to move into, because doing all this shit that I have to do for this house and all the unexpected costs, high dollar unexpected costs that I keep running into, to be handling it by myself is ass. So to all you young women who want to go out and buy a home, I encourage you to really, really think about it. Talk to some people and really see the ins and outs. I mean, it always sounds good. Oh yeah, your mortgage is only going to be $1,000 until they reevaluate your property taxes, and that bitch goes up $200. You know, it's trash. 85 degrees, your AC is going to go out. You don't want to know how much.
It's the best investment you could ever have. I do believe that to be true. That don't change the fact that I'm tired of being a homeowner. I'm tired of the problems that it come with. I'm tired of all the responsibility, you know, hanging on my shoulders. I miss renting. I feel like I had more freedom with renting. Now, I know when you rent, you're paying month to month and all that money is going down the drain. It's not going towards nothing. It's not investing in nothing. It's not. I know that. And I don't care. I thought about it so much. Selling my house and going back to live with my mother. Because why not? I don't have kids. I don't have a man. I don't have any drama that I would bring my mama. And I can pay all her bills. Mind you, my mama still live in the projects and income-based housing. She doesn't pay rent anyway. We'll be over there living like kings and queens. Jesus Christ. I feel like the only thing that I would miss owning my home, or, you know, moving back with my mom or just whatever, is the privacy. I do not like people all the time. I do not like noise, you know. But when you move in with somebody or any sort of living adjustment, then you have to understand what that comes with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just tired. Not saying that I will go live back with my mama. Not saying that I will go back renting. Not saying that I'll get a roommate. You know, all those things is an option. I'm just tired of being a homeowner. I'm tired of the issues that arise. And I look left and I look right and the responsibility is still on you. Like, there's just no help. I'm so tired. Owning a home, I don't give a damn. Owning a home is not what it used to be. I used to take pride in owning a home. I want to sell my home bad. Let it be somebody else's problem. And I like my house. Like, when I bought it in 2020, it was newly renovated. I bought it during COVID, and I paid pennies for it. And my mortgage is cheap, and I know I shouldn't complain, honey, but I'm still going to complain because it's mine, and I got to pay for it, and I'm going to do whatever it is I want to do. And I'm just tired of the responsibility, if I can only be honest. I feel like I had less responsibility with renting. Like, if I had one problem, I can call the landlord. You know, I'm calling the maintenance man. I'm calling somebody else to fix the problem. I got a problem now. I can call somebody, but then my phone gonna ring. I have a whole obsession of going down this rabbit hole of watching TikToks of homeowners that hate being homeowners. And I have a question. Like, when y'all go shopping for these homes that you now hate, what do y'all look at? And it's for real a rhetorical question, because as a realtor, I know what y'all be looking at. Y'all be looking at paint and y'all be looking at flooring. That's it. Y'all be looking at the pretties. And you're not spending $250,000 for paint and flooring, honey. You need to be looking at that roof. You need to be looking at electrical. You need to be looking at HVAC. You need to be looking at plumbing. You need to be looking at landscaping. Like, which way does the rain flow when it rains real bad? Like, that's the type of stuff that you need to be looking at. And I have another TikTok about this, but the home inspector that you paid $400 to, yeah, you need to ask questions. Like, y'all literally be handing over $425 to home inspectors and don't ask no questions at all. No question. They give you 50 pages worth of stuff and you just be like, oh, okay, what's the next step? What do I got to do next? Go through that home inspection. If you can't attend the home inspection, attend it. Don't be in the way, of course, but after the home inspection, like, go through. Like, my home inspector is dope. He gonna have that report written up and be ready to educate right after he's done with that home inspection. That is why I always recommend him. But you, whoever your home inspector is, first of all, before you even start shopping for homes, that may be something that you need to shop for as well. I have another TikTok about that. Like, it's so many things. It's so many things. I'm gonna be dropping more TikToks because ain't no way you just spent $300K. Somebody even was talking about they spent $500,000 on a home that they hate. $500,000? You might as well just bought an investment property. Come on.
But yeah, look at the real deal when y'all go look at these houses and review that home inspection. Because y'all go pay for the home inspection, get in the house and like, wow, the AC went out. Well, on the home inspection, it probably told you, if you have a good home inspector, the shelf life of a typical HVAC. And then you could have actually looked at the seller's disclosure or look into public records and see how long that HVAC has been there. Or your home inspector probably looked at the serial number and could tell you how old that HVAC is and give you an estimate. They not know, psychic, but they can give you an estimate of when you're going to need to get that replaced. Like, these things are available to you. You just have to have the right people around you, and you have to do a little bit of research and legwork. And a lot of it can be done before you go out shopping for a house so that you're not rushed, because most homes are closing in 30 days. And that's another thing that's fucking y'all up, is y'all are learning all this stuff in the 30 days that you're under contract. And then on top of that, you got the lender asking for a bunch of documents. So you're concerned about your approval and then also trying to learn about a house. Like, take your time. Take your time. That soul sign post for Facebook, it's gonna be there. You'll get there. Just wait. Make sure you know what you get.
And don't even get me started on the mortgage payments. If you bought a house for $500,000 today, you're probably paying about $2,500 a month. Compare that to a couple of years ago, when the same house might have cost you $1,700 a month. Why? Interest rates. They shot up higher than my cholesterol after Taco Tuesday, man. The pressure is so real. Some people are wondering, did I buy a home, or did I just sign up for 30 years of stress? You think you're buying freedom, but then the HOA sends you a letter because your grass is too tall. You're like, I can barely afford water for the grass, man. What the heck? But listen, it's not all bad. These stories are real, but so is the strength and determination to push through it. We're gonna laugh about this, we're gonna learn from it, and I'm gonna help you figure out what to do if you're feeling stuck. Let's jump in, because giving up is not an option.
Record high inflation may have people questioning whether homeownership is a good investment. Property taxes on the median single-family home have risen by more than 25% between 2019 and 2023. There's also been about a 20% increase in home insurance premiums between 2021 and 2023, according to insurance comparison company Insurify. Property tax increases in the past 4 years varied by state, with New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York seeing the highest average property tax increases, while West Virginia, Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi saw...
Actually owns their home. I know a lot of people think they own their home. They took out a mortgage, they paid it for 30 years, they paid it off, and now they own it. But they don't, because the government does. If the actual homeowner of every house in America is the government. Because here's the thing, if you actually own something, once you paid for it, you get to keep it. But that doesn't happen with houses. Think it through logically. In order to purchase a home, a person has to make money from a job, which is money that the government's already taxed. Then they need to spend that money on the home, which the government taxes. And then while you're living in that home, you have to pay utility bills, which the government taxes. You have to pay for insurance, which the government taxes. You have to pay for repairs, you have to pay for upkeep, all of which the government taxes. And then once you get to the point that you have completely paid off your home, you still have to pay the government for the privilege of living in the home that you paid off in the form of property taxes. And property taxes just make no fucking sense. It's basically the government saying, yes, we know you paid for it. Yes, we know we didn't do anything to help you pay for it. In fact, we did the exact opposite and took money from you, making it harder to pay for the home. And then everything you needed for the home, we charged you more for. But if you don't continue to pay us property tax even after you pay off your home, we're going to take it from you. That's not ownership. Every single person in America is a renter, even if you think you own your home. You don't. You're just renting it from the government. And if you don't believe me, don't pay your rent. Don't pay that property tax for a little bit and see what your government land
of becoming a home borrower. I borrowed this house from the bank 3 years ago, and I hate it. And some people are asking me why. Why do you hate it? Because I can't afford it. I can't afford this house. When I borrowed the house, I could afford it, and the bank insured that. Since then, though, when I borrowed this house, my homeowner's insurance was $1,323 a year. Today, 3 years later, my homeowners insurance is $2,654 a year. That is a little over $100 increase, which is added to my payment. Now, I know a lot of people will say crap like, oh, well, you know, if you buy a house, your mortgage will be cheaper than your rent. Sure, if I were to rent a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, my rent would be a lot more than my principal and interest on this house. However, I'm escrowed, so it doesn't fucking matter because I have to pay principal and interest, my property taxes, and my homeowner's insurance monthly. So I know some people will usually say like, oh, my mortgage increased by $200 this year. Yes, we're not actually referring to the mortgage, which is the principal and interest amount. We're referring to the overall payment that we have to submit to the bank every month. It's not actually the mortgage, we know that, but we're in escrow, we don't have a choice. So it's the mortgage payment that we're paying. When I signed up for this fucking house, I signed up to pay $1,800 a month. I'm close to the $2,200 now in 3 years. That's a lot of money. And it's only going to continue to increase. And that's kind of my issue with this right now. Because I'm at a point where I'm like, this is actually no different than renting. The only difference is that I don't have a landlord that I can call when my fucking toilet overflows. Or, you know, when the basement floods or whatever the fuck happens. I don't have that option. Of course. And we all know that going into homeownership. Like, I had the savings for that. It was, you know, I was fully aware of that. But everything is increasing, and we all know that too. Like, everything, the cost of living is increasing, and I can't afford this house. I hate it.
Why are so many people regretting their home purchases? Spoiler alert. It's not just because the raccoon in the attic won't pay rent. First, let's talk numbers. Home prices are through the roof, literally. The median home price in the US is $400,000, which is like buying a house, and then wondering if you can also live off ramen for the next 30 years. And let's not forget hidden costs. You got property taxes, maintenance, and all those little surprises no one tells you about. One person said, we spent $10,000 fixing the HVAC system, and I didn't even know what HVAC stood for before I owned this house. Damn, that's crazy. And y'all, this isn't just about money. It's about the struggle to make it all work. In some cases, people rush into buying because of FOMO, fear of missing out. You saw your friend posting just bought a house, selfies, and thought, me too, but instead of getting the dreamy farmhouse vibes, you got a money pit that needs 17 trips to Home Depot. But here's the kicker. 40% of recent buyers say they didn't fully understand their mortgages before signing on the dotted line. That's like buying a car and realizing halfway home that you don't know how to drive stick.
Less than a year in our new home, we are moving. Sorry my rollers are in. Not very demure of me, but I have a work filming tomorrow morning and a style to preserve. Even though me and my fiance just moved from our apartment and bought this house, it's safe to say that I hate having a single family home. I don't like having to worry about trash day and lawn care and shoveling snow. Apartment living was very soft, very carefree, and that's what I need to go to, less maintenance. At first, we just wanted to sell and get rid of the house. But after really thinking about it, we decided to keep it and create income from it as a rental home. We also decided that we would rather get married here instead of paying a venue $20,000 and not being able to have all of the vendors and the things that we want. Like this is a little preview. So we are packing up and moving one last time to the dream house high rise for a double income, no kids couple that makes sense for us right now. The hardest thing about moving in together as a couple with two very different styles was being able to mash those two styles into something that we both enjoy. That's why I'm so glad that we hired an interior decorator. She designed my office.
The question that I get asked often is, why did I decide on selling my house instead of renting it out on Airbnb or getting a long-term tenant or just staying put? So I'm going to tell you why. Let's start off with the fact that I was not playing when I said I'm broke and I really could use that money. I ended up cashing out majority of my investments, such as my Roths, all of that. When my business started to fail to try to save it, I lost everything. Selling my house will give me the reset that I need, but let's get in more details. So let's start off with Airbnb. Other than the fact that I feel like Airbnb is oversaturated, on top of that, I just saw how people treated my cars on Turo. So imagine how they're going to treat my house. Airbnb is a no. When it comes to the long-term tenant, I feel that being a landlord is a rich person's game. or for somebody that's really financially stable, because of the fact that you don't get your return on investment in the rents alone unless you have completely paid off the property. You get paid the most off of that once you sell the asset, which will be probably years later. And the last option is to just stay put, which is what most people are doing if they bought around the same time that I bought my house. I know a lot of people feel stuck because they got such a good interest rate. I don't. I would rather have the money and sell it. But if it doesn't sell this...
I'm going to be really controversial when I say this, and I'm talking to all of our parents out there. Buying a house does not make you successful. Don't worry, I did it by myself at 30, and so I'm going to walk you through why I would never fucking do it again. Specifically in California or LA, and I mean by myself. I signed those documents as a single woman, first and last name, because that's how they do it. If you have a partner that would split that with you, I think that's a completely different story. Again, bought my house by myself in LA. Let's go over the pricing. I bought a townhouse in LA, a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. It was $465,000. I bought it in 2021 because I thought that was going to be the cheapest thing possible. I had an interest rate of less than 3%. It was 2.99%. Things that I could not have factored in. HOA increasing. My HOA from month 1 went to $299, and then year 3 went to $486. The reason I'm talking about this is because my house is on the market. I am selling it for $535, okay? So I'm going to minus broker's fees, improvements, escrow fees, title insurance, and corrective worker repairs. With that being all added up, my profit at the end of the day for 4 years is $15,206. I put 10% down. That's $46,000, okay? If I would have taken that $46,000 and for the exact same time period, so don't be like, the market's not reliable, the exact same time period, February 2021 to June of 2024, I would have made a profit of $21,644. So the difference of that would be that I was up $5,000.
Alright folks, now that we laughed and cringed our way through the struggles, let's talk of solutions. Because here's the truth, life isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about facing them head on and coming out stronger. And that includes home ownership. First, let's start with mindset. Think of your home not as a burden, but as an opportunity. Like motivational legend Tony Robbins says, it's not the events of our lives that shape us, but the meaning we attach to those events. Your house might be full of surprises and maybe a raccoon or two, but also full of potential. Step 1. Get organized. Start small. Prioritize repairs and tackle them one at a time. You don't need to fix everything at once, no matter what your noisy neighbor says. Step 2. Budget wisely. If your mortgage feels like a monster, look at areas to cut costs. Consider renting a room, refinancing when rates drop, or getting creative. Hey, you can turn the garage into an Airbnb. You're not just a homeowner, you're an entrepreneur. Step 3. Educate yourself. Take time to understand your mortgage, your expenses, and your options. Knowledge is power. People, in this case, it's also the power to keep the lights on. And let me get real for a second. There are going to be days when you feel like giving up, when the pipes burst, the roof leaks, or the HOA sends you a letter about your mailbox being too unique. But giving up, that's not an option. Like Eric Thomas says, you're already in pain, you're already hurt, get a reward from it. Your home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's a symbol of your hard work, your dreams, and your determination. So if things feel tough, remember, you are tougher. Shift your perspective. Don't see problems, see opportunities to grow, learn, and make that house truly your home.